have you taken with Charlie, with Fox, with Kavika at right tackle, with at one point 3 scholarship receivers? Like just how many combinations you threw out there with 13 personnel and whatever that Bryce formation was, and
Yeah.
like all these things of like with what you did today and putting up 42 points and you were down to what you were down to. How many reps did you have you even taken under all these circumstances?
Yeah, this whole situation has been insane. Um, Towards the end of the year, people tend to get hurt and get injured, and that's just the sport of football. But I think Coach Leonard does a great job with at practice. He's making sure that everybody's getting reps. He's always changing out. If Isaiah World's going to be playing, if not, it's going to be Fox. If it's not Fox, it might be Kavika. So there's been a lot going on up front, and I feel like the biggest thing is you have to give their credit to Coach Terry. Coach Terry making sure they're prepared in the film room and making sure that the mental reps are there. When it comes to just doing the physical reps on the football field, they're going to dominate because they're talented. But yeah, when it comes to receivers, I mean, yeah, a lot of people are hurt, and as a quarterback, I think the biggest thing is you have to make it as easy as possible for these receivers. Making sure these are catchable footballs. Making sure that you're communicating them about the game plan. Every night at the hotel, I text our group chat, and it's like I want everybody in the room that's traveling to be in there. We're going over the plays. We're watching the film. Like we're just making sure that the little details are getting covered. So it's a lot of preparation that comes with it. Of course, I wish everybody can be healthy and we go out there with the people that are supposed to play. But at the end of the day, I mean, next man up mentality has been what's been going on. So we're doing a great job.
Left, Eric. Kind of wanted to get your thoughts on just what this win means and kind of the way you had to do it. Similar to James' question, just without so many players, just the toughness this team has shown down the stretch here.
Yeah, I mean, it was of course another opponent, and media and everybody's going to stir it up to be such a big game. And of course, college game day, it's always sold out in Alton. The ranked opponent. I mean, at the end of the day, I kind of just kept telling the team like it was going to be an emotional game because it's senior night, but it's also can't let the emotions take over, and with the emotions cause negativity. So it's been a lot that happened within this game. It's another opponent I respect. USC. Coach Riley has a great team over there. Coach Lynn, is my DC at UCLA. So I give all the credit to them. But at the end of the day, I feel like we pushed ourselves this week, Monday through Friday, to make sure we get the result we wanted.
In the middle, Matt.
Was the week like with Fox and getting him ready? This is a guy that had played 33 snaps all year before today and protecting your blind side.
Yeah.
Just what was that week like in getting him ready?
Yeah, being a blindside tackle for a quarterback, I mean, you have to put, a lot of trust in that person. And for Fox, I put a lot of trust in him. By just the way I'm always, around the facility, like the way the conversations we have, the jokes we always make, even weeks ago, like it's just I'm the same person, even if it's time for somebody to go shine or even they're not getting to shine at all. So with the Fox, I feel like, he feels my true love and respect towards him, and I hope he does. But at the end of the day at practice, I mean, every time he gets beat on a rep, it's like, flash stick. It's like next play, build that confidence. So I feel like with Fox, he's a young guy, and at the end of the day, like he's gonna push himself. But like I said, Coach Terry is a great person to help lead that room to make sure they're all ready.
Middle Tyson.
Most quarterbacks aren't super happy to see Bryce Betcher in their backfield.
Yeah.
What was it like installing that this week with him, and then to actually just be able to go out there and execute it and kind of see the reception that he got for it?
Yeah, that was it was a play that Coach Stein dialed up. It had Bear in there as well, E-Man and Bryce, and of course Big Mike. I mean, it was a lot of players that are on the defensive side of the ball that came to the offensive side. But all week, Bryce was running the end zone, flipping into the end zone, hitting his baseball bat 100 times. So I feel like we ran a lot of reps with it, and I feel like when it was time for him to go out there and shine, it's Bryce Betcher. He's played quarterback in high school. He said he was a great ball carrier, so we put the trust in him, and we know he's going to do it. So it's great to see him, of course, score and have his shine.
On the left, John.
Obviously, don't want to see Poncho go down, but for Charlie Picker to step in, it's an in-state kid, it's a former walk-on, to have that moment on senior day, what does that mean for him to have that? And then what did you see from him back there taking snaps from him in that second half?
Yeah, of course, Poncho's the head honcho of the offense, and he does a great job, Monday through Friday pushing us. But like I said, next man up mentality has been the theme, these past couple of weeks, and Charlie's been doing a great job, of course, at practice, him just still being the leader. He's a second guy. He's just making sure he's communicating, and in the film room, we're watching, going protection meetings. He's in there calling out protections as well. So Charlie's always a guy that's going to, practice and prepare like he's getting ready to play. Like I said, his number got called, and when he first came to the game, I was in the huddle, and I'm like, Charlie, I looked at Charlie dead in his eyes. Like, Charlie, all these 10 players in this huddle has 100% confidence in you. And with them, he looked at me. He was like, I appreciate you guys. I love you guys. And senior night's a big night for him. So it was a little emotional. Of course, had a little bit of false starts just in the third, but he's getting his feet back wet. And I feel like with Charlie, is a great guy that communicates protection well in the run game well. So glad to have him as a center as well.
On the right, Zach.
That second touchdown to Kenyon, how much trust do you need to have in your receiver there? Because it's a critical point in the game, 3rd and 2. It could have easily dump it off in the middle for a first down, keep the drive going. You take a shot and then he makes that catch. What did that look like from your perspective? And just how much trust did you have to have in him for that play?
Yeah, Coach. I got to give credit to Coach Lynn. He did a great job on that defensive call. We thought it was man. They went cover 2. But at the end of the day, it's a play where we have verticals going down the field. Got to keep the boundary safety and that look. I mean, Kenyon is right, wide open down the middle of the field. Like I always like to joke around and say, Kenyon's down there somewhere, just throw it. So he always go make a crazy catch and do what he always has to do. But at the end of the day, we rep that so many times at practice, and he's going to do what he got to do.
Time for one more last question here on the left here.
Given the injuries at receiver, like you have Sadiq, obviously, but your connection with Malik, you guys haven't been together that long. So how did that come together? And have you guys had to work more together lately to try to fine tune things because other guys have been out?
Nice Jordans today. I'm glad you wore them. Yeah, I mean, Malik, that's my brother. It's kind of been like we've been knowing each other for years, but it's only been a couple months. And I feel like it just kind of just starts from, spring ball where he's in Dallas with me training, where we're taking trips together, we're in Cabo together. I mean, it's just so many times where we just had a time of bond outside the football field. And at the end of the day, like, we just had a great connection. He's a great guy to hang out with and just a great person overall, has a great family, and he always keeps a smile on his face. And I love having positive people around me. And at the end of the day, I mean, he's a guy that's played at Alabama. He's a guy that played at FSU. He came from a JUCO route. So he has a lot of chips on his shoulder, and he's a hungry kid. And I for sure I appreciate the way he just works, keep his head down. I mean, spring ball wasn't his best spring ball. Fall camp wasn't his best fall camp, but when his number's called, he's going to make a play. But overall, the receiver room just looks at him as a person that, everybody loves and appreciates. And it's just his energy is contagious. And on the football field, of course, he had the dumb penalty today. I already cussed him out about it. But overall, that punt return, the catches, just him being a ball player and having 100% trust in me and, of course, with him as well. It's just someone I love to death.